Oh gingerbread, how delicious is your icing.
Today we're making icing. So
Well, that's just like my song.
Yes. Welcome to another episode of Baking with the Braziers, and we are going into royal icing. I'm adding 4 cups of confectioner's sugar or powdered sugar, whatever you like to call it,
White
to my
fluffy stuff.
stand mixer. White fluffy stuff works too. Mm-hmm. And 3 tablespoons of Wilton meringue powder. And I think it's easier to use meringue powder than egg whites. I feel like it's safer.
So what makes this icing special?
This is a crusting icing. It gets super hard. You can use it as glue for a gingerbread house. A lot of people just use it to ice cookies and things because it makes it so that you can stack them up. But mostly with gingerbread houses, it makes it so that your candy sticks and you can decorate it, and it's gonna last a long time.
So this is like the glue of the gingerbread world.
Yes. So I mixed this for almost 10 minutes on a relatively low speed, but that's really it. There's only 3 ingredients: 5 tablespoons of water, 3 tablespoons of meringue powder, and 4 cups of sugar. And I mixed it on speed 4 or 6 for about 10 minutes.
So you have to act pretty fast or it'll harden or whatever?
Yes, and then I keep it covered while I'm working with it so that it doesn't crust over. And you saw me grab a gallon-sized Ziploc bag a minute ago or a second ago and use that as my bag for icing, and I just snipped off a very tiny, tiny corner of that bag. And now I'm going to show you how I hold it between my thumb, and the rest of my hand, really tight. And then I use my 4 fingers to wrap around and give me pressure. And I am gonna pipe, I guess they're called window panes. Is that what you would call them?
Is there a pain to pipe?
No, they're not a pain. They're actually pretty easy. So I'm gonna try to keep my hand steady. I try
It
to
does not look easy.
twist off the icing a little lower so I'm not having to push all of the icing through the bag. And then what's nice about a Ziploc is you can close it, and I can have it full of icing and just have the rest of the icing kind of sitting in the top of the bag. And I'm not having to push all that icing and use so much pressure on my hand. I can twist it off lower and make it easier on myself. Because the harder you're having to press on the icing, the more shaky your hand gets.
You're not using a tip on that bag either, are you?
No, there's no tip.
What?
I didn't have a tip that was small enough, actually. My smallest tip was a size 3. I don't know where my size 2 and 1 have gone. So they get lost all the time.
Look, you stuck that wreath on there. That's fun.
I did. This was a kit, and I showed you in my other video how I cut the windows out of this kit from Target. And so it had some cute things in there, and then I added some things. I added the glass in the last video. And so now I'm showing you how I decorated it. And in the last video, I remember I told you that I broke that front piece.
Yeah.
Into quite a few pieces.
We were
and
all
so
devastated.
yes. It was a little difficult. So I added quite a bit of icing to the front of the house to try to cover it up. I had already glued it on. I thought about covering it in icing, like a layer of, thinning the icing down, and before I assembled it, doing kind of the dam and fill method where you let the icing kind of pool and dry, and then it would have been a solid color, but
Gotta see that gingerbread coming through.
yeah, I still wanted to see the gingerbread. That's true.
It's part of the merriment.
So that's when I decided to just put a bunch of swirly squigglies on it, and I'm making it up as I go along.
Yeah.
The houses aren't perfect. You can see where I cut out the windows. If you look there on the right, I can see a lot of imperfections. But icing covers a myriad of sins.
We.
So It's kind of your friend. In fact, when I would bake cakes and brides or people would ask me for a cake and they would say, I just want it really simple, nothing on it. I'm a simple person, and they expect it to be less money and less time consuming if a cake had nothing on it. That was more difficult.
The naked cake.
No, not naked cakes. Naked
No,
cakes
those are fine.
Easy. Those are easy. But a cake that is iced perfectly can be very difficult because you can't cover it with anything, and you have to make sure that it's perfect. So going back to the gingerbread, I think gingerbread houses are fun because
you can eat
they
them.
can be gaudy and they can be covered in candy and icing, and that's what makes them charming. And so you can really cover up a lot.
Yeah.
You're not looking for something simple. You're looking for something that's, covered in candy.
You've come to have a good time.
So I'm adding whatever. There were some things in the box. These came with the kit. The little holly leaves and berries and things came with the kit. I alternated between red and green. I added icing to kind of cover up some of the spots where I used the caramel glue to glue it together. And then when I add icicles, I tend to add them more sporadic. I think it looks fun. I added a nice little twisty border on the edge of the eaves. And then I added icicles. So I'm trying to give you a different view this time. I think
good
I
view of
usually
your shoulder. You have a pretty shoulder.
Thanks. It's a little difficult. I kept covering up the camera. I would stand in front of it because I kind of get in the zone and I'm doing my thing and worrying more about what's in front of me than what's behind me, and I kept getting in the shot. So I'm learning. I'm not a videographer, but if I want to show people how I decorate, then this is the only way to do it. So
we can get you one of those hats with a camera mounted on it, get some of those big
GoPro.
Yeah.
I really like these little green trees that came with the kit. I think they look like cute little topiaries. I think you're going to work in the background.
Probably.
Oh, yep. There's Tim.
I'm going to work. Business.
I have a meeting. See you later. That's what he's saying.
Actually, that was all an act. I'm going to do it again in about 2 seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is one house.
I want people to think I actually, have a job.
Right. And I did a little dusting of powdered sugar because I think it's fun. And then I stand back and look at it and decide, do I need to add more? Does it look good? Did I do enough? And I add little balls here and there to the snow and the trees, and I just kind of keep looking at it and working at it. And if things aren't going the way that you want them to go, sometimes it helps if you walk away for a second and get fresh eyes and look at things from a different perspective. Look at it from a different angle. I think my husband's an artist. He used to say, what did you say? You look at paintings upside down?
Yeah, that's what
so
one of my
I
art
don't
teachers told me to
suggest
do
turning a gingerbread house upside down.
No, that's bad.
But maybe looking at it from a different side or a different angle is
You turn
helpful.
yourself upside down. Maybe you stand on your head.
So this is another gingerbread house, but this one I made
That's right.
from scratch.
With the Ritz cracker box.
Yes, the Ritz cracker box. And I hadn't made this one in years. I had put the pattern pieces away, and I decided to pull it out and try making this one again. It was something that I kind of designed and forgot about. And
it doesn't have the light up windows, but I actually think this one's my favorite one.
So I really like this one too, and I think next time I do it, I'll make sure to cut out a few windows because I really like the lights.
Yeah.
I think you were right on the money when you said it's like a Christmas jack-o'-lantern. In the last video.
That was clever of me.
It was super clever and totally true. So,
Christmas jack-o'-lanterns.
So yeah, I'm just piping lines, covering things up, adding gumdrops.
Dots. Isn't that what those are? The dots candy?
Aren't they gumdrops?
No, they're dots.
Well, yeah, I know they're called dots, but...
Well, why would you... Well, there's dots then.
Oh.
I don't know. They could be gumdrops, I guess. Gumdrops have sugar all over them.
Oh.
These were squishier than I remember dots
They
being,
were
too.
so good.
Dots used to be really hard.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I always ate old dots.
Or maybe this was just a fresher batch of dots, but they were actually really tasty.
Fresh from the Dots factory.
Yeah. So another thing that I grabbed were some really fun sprinkles
They are fun.
that had some pretty colors, not sticking with the red and green theme. I kind of went the opposite on
Oh, yeah,
this
you're
one.
kind of going all over the place color palette-wise.
Yeah, this one's like pink and green and blue and purple, and so I really like these sprinkles, and I added them in a lot of different places. These are a little difficult. That roof line is really steep,
Yeah.
so I'm actually kind of putting the icing to the side of the sprinkles a little bit and kind of sticking them so that the lights still face downward.
Yeah, because upwards is weird.
Right. Actually, I just put our Christmas lights on our house and they're facing upward.
Well, yeah.
Maybe I should have, but I think
Yeah,
that
it's
would look
probably
weird
weird.
on a gingerbread house.
I think it looks weird. It depends on how big you are in relationship to the house. I think if you've got like a rather, in our house is an average size, but I mean, if, to us, it's bigger.
Right.
And so it looks fine. But if our house was super small, like this gingerbread house, I think you would want them to be facing down.
That works.
If a giant ever comes to our house, we're just going to have to be like, don't look at our Christmas lights. It's embarrassing.
So I added these Christmas light things, and I think they ended up looking pretty cute. I like this one because it's really whimsical. And I wanted it to have a front fireplace. The first year that I made this one, I made the chimney look like rock. And it was really fun. It was very busy, but I didn't have that kind of time this year.
Well, the chimney is, when you think of like Christmas houses, that's like one of the...
It's pretty important.
Yeah. How else is Santa going to get in there?
And you know what? That gingerbread kit that is
Gingerbread
in the
Santa.
background doesn't have a chimney.
That doesn't make any sense.
And it's supposedly a mansion.
Oh, psh. Yeah, some mansion. You don't even have a chimney?
I actually did think about adding a chimney by using the scraps that I cut out from the windows. And I maybe should have done that. Maybe I'll do that
Gingerbread
next time.
Santa is going to come up to this mansion with all these toys for these good kids that live in the gingerbread mansion, and you can't get in.
Yeah. Doesn't make much sense.
No, it's awful.
You should probably always make sure that your gingerbread houses have a chimney. I think it's probably pretty important.
Yeah, and a slide that kind of goes out the back into a pool.
That would be really special.
That'd be fun.
That would be like a dream house.
Like a Jello pool.
A Jello pool.
One time I saw somebody made like a Jello thing. It was like blue Jello, and it had goldfish in it.
Oh yeah, those were really popular for a little while.
Yeah, kind of gross, but I'm digging it. It'll be fun.
We should do like really wild, like a really, really, really cool gingerbread house sometime.
Well, I think we did. I mean,
those are a couple of gingerbread houses. We also made ornaments and cookies, and we are gingerbreaded out.
I thought we were supposed to make a duck or something. Wasn't that in the last?
Oh yeah,
ad?
we were supposed to make a duck. No duck, just gingerbread houses. Thanks for visiting. I hope you guys are now able to go from start to finish. Have a good one.
Bye.